Hi, welcome back. I'm Anise Kizelbash and thanks for tuning in. And today's question is, how do I stop self-doubt? How do I stop self-doubt? It's a great question, great question. It really does chew away. When you're feeling self-doubt, it chews away at your confidence, you start procrastinating, and then you don't do anything, and it's awful, and then it affects your confidence, and it's a horrible spiral. So what's causing self-doubt? It's your thoughts. It's a habit of thought. It's a groove of a thought that goes on and on and on. It's a habit loop of a thought, right? Now, what's the opposite of self-doubt? Self-belief, right? Self-belief, certainty, faith, trust. These are all the opposite of self-doubt, right? Now, what do thoughts of self-belief sound like? What does it sound like? I can do this. I can learn how to do this. I've learned something before, so I know I can do it again. I always try my best, and I'll figure it out. I'll always find something. See, so these are thoughts of self-belief. Yeah. So one way of stopping self-doubt, you can't stop self-doubt. It's difficult to do that. But what you can do instead is start another trail of thought, start another pattern of thought, and it's like, for example, you're going down the highway, you're driving down a motorway, 100 miles an hour. You can't suddenly slam on the brakes and do an emergency stop. You can't do that. Let's imagine there's an oncoming vehicle and you need to get out of the way. You can't just slam on the brakes. But what you can do is swerve. You go, yeah. Right. So that's what you can. That's the equivalent of what you're doing. Instead of trying to stop an emotion, stop a trail of thought, rather, you steer it onto another one. Okay. So you need a bit of a break to be able to stop that, because this can really take over, and it can be difficult. So here's what you need to do in order to change gears. It's like putting the clutch on and then changing gears. Is you take a breath and listen to your breathing. Okay, so let's say take 2-3 conscious breaths. Just listen to your breathing. And again, listen to your breathing. Okay, that's quiet. What that does, it kind of slows down that thought, and now you can shift gears and you can go in the other lane, and you start thinking thoughts of small wins. Okay, so this is a way of helping develop the self-belief. Think back to 10 small wins you've had over the past year. Better still, write it down, piece of paper. Write it down on a piece of paper. What are 10 small wins you achieved last year? Now, you'll probably find it quite simple to maybe come up with 5, but when it comes to the other 5, you'll have to go a bit more granular. But the thing is, it all counts. Even small granular wins, things you take for granted, all help. They all help you in order to become the person you want, the successful person you are. It starts with teeny tiny wins. Okay, so think of 10 small wins you had over the past year. When you start doing that, you start seeing yourself, reminding yourself, rather. That's what you're doing. You're reminding yourself, because we have a tendency to think more about the negative thoughts, about the things we did badly, more than we do positive. So write down 10 things, 10 wins you had over the past year, and then see how you feel after that. Okay? So that's how you stop self-doubt. The way you stop self-doubt is you start thinking thoughts of self-belief. And one way of doing that, okay, if you're doing something you haven't done before, what you can do is to create that certainty, because that's what self-belief requires. It believes certainty, faith, trust. Look back at what you've done, what you've had to overcome, wins that you had to do that you hadn't done before, but you did that. It gives you this level of certainty that you will figure it out. You will find the resources. You know that you can go, you'll find and ask the right people to get it done in the future. Okay? Thanks for tuning in. I hope you found that useful. Please share this with someone who could get value from this. And if you have a question, ask in the comment below and I'll happily answer it in an upcoming episode. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Anise Kizelbash and I'll see you in an upcoming episode.